Hello, good morning. Okay, it is in the morning, a chilly one. In this session, we are going to look at date tools, date and time tools. So, why is it important to work with date and time tools? Um, okay, let me take a scenario. I was working with some sales teams at a bank, actually, just a few months ago. When you work with these sales teams, you have two options. You remain at the branch or you go to the field and look for the customers. Now, but sometimes you realize that as you go to the field to look for customers, there are many customers also flocking to the banking mall to to get the bank products and services. And there raised a difference among the team who should be remaining behind. We are about five members of the sales team, and we couldn't get around ourselves. How can we do this? So we said, let everyone remain behind um, one day in a week, and then on Saturday, let the entire team to be at the branch. No, we've tried to solve the problem, but now the problem in my mind was whom to remain which day. I think that brings something in. Remember, you are targeting groups of customers coming to the branch, and you want to be left behind when there will be high number of customers. Which day would you choose? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? From your intuition, maybe you can say Monday with some reason. You can say I would choose Monday because people will be freshen up and they make some decisions over the weekend and they really want to come to the bank on Monday to get account, to take loans, to do all those stuff. Again, someone would argue that I would choose Friday because people have been postponing going to the banking mall for the entire week, and this time round they have just decided, let me go to the bank and get this done before the timeline catches up with me, and the weekend is almost here, and the banks will not be open in the normal days. So you can see how choosing the date of the week can change even your sales. What about as a salesperson, or now from the business perspective? You want to, for example, close your shop at some point of time in the evening. Of course, every action that you take will affect your business. Closing at 7, closing at 9, closing at 10, and so on. Assuming every other thing kept constant, which time would you choose to close? Remember, you also want to go and relax and do some other things. What losses would you incur if you decide to close at 7 instead of at 9? Right? Those are the important time concept that applies to our everyday action. So, what do we expect in this class? When we are going to work with the tools, we are going to be expecting to calculate ages. For example, getting the difference between today's date and the person's date of birth, so that we can know how many years old the person is. And of course, that is very important when we deal with our customers. We know their 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 ages, and try to segment them and give them the product that we would think would fit, right? uh, Date only. Remember, you can have in a column, you can have date and time values. So we may decide to deal this time round with date only. Let's have time somewhere else, right? Extracting. And you can also decide to have year, month, week, day. You can extract these values from a column of date. Very important. That is in fact what Excel does when you work with power pivot tables to extract values that are date time. So it tries to get for you the quarter, the year, the month, the day, and so on. Again, the same applies to the time. Like you want to get an hour, you want to extract minute, you want to extract seconds. I'm sure if you have been working with any data analytics, this is something very important. You can also get the earliest and the latest columns. That is, you get when did I start, or what is the earliest time of my data point and what is the latest time of my data point. Where to apply these values that we have said you can extract date time. We have said you can calculate ages. We have said you can calculate minutes, seconds, and so on. After having those values, where do we apply? The extracted values from date will help us to filter and segment values in the dataset by any of the field. Like we want to see the sales by weeks, we want to see the sales by month, by day, and day of the week, right? And also by year, very important. And also we can look at the trend over the quarters, right? Of course, get the values between the specified period. That is what we are going to be expected to do. But in this class, we are not going to use the values that we are extracting. For this class, what we are going to do is just to extract those values so that when it comes to DAX and visualization, it will be easier for us to handle this data. I hope you are looking forward to this class. An amazing one. Thank you and enjoy learning.